Hello everyone, Fuse here. I'm going to be making these types of videos about twice a month. I plan on making these banner predictions, upcoming banner videos to inform mainly the lower spenders or free-to-play players about what they should be saving their gems for, since I don't see too much content on that, while I see plenty of questions about that in Discord and Reddit. So this is going to be catering to those people. This is actually my third time recording this video because every time I've done it has just been way too long, and I want to start just speed running through these banners because I want to get you that information as quickly as I can. So I'm not going to go over the next month's spec banners. The website I'm using is SINoALICE.game-database, and this is the website that most people have been using to look at past events or JP events and what could be coming towards the game. And I just want to save you that time because I've been on the database website way too much in my life, so here I am. The first banner that they skipped in the past was this Snow White Paladin banner. Honestly, I don't think this banner is coming anytime soon, but if it were to come, this banner would be really good for M attackers, 700 M attack on this job, and the weapon isn't too bad, 17 cost, tier 3 1 to 2 targets, decrease magic attack down, and Dauntless Courage 1. It has really good M attack for 17 cost, so I think this would be a must pull for paladins. And then Gotcha Ogre Barbarian, probably one person has to have this in the guild, has higher stats than the one that can be coming soon, Mount Archelon. This one has 5300 almost, the other one has like 5100. Spec towards P attack though, so probably get this on a P attacker, or just don't have this on a vanguard, have it on a rear guard. And then Silver Grimoire is alright. M attack down on one person, replenish magic 2. Decent M attack. Might be good if you're attack down Sork, but I probably wouldn't pull on this. And the axe is probably a hard skip besides the P attack. If there was Crusher Half Nightmare, you could pick that up, but there isn't one right now, so I don't think that's necessary. So to conclude really quickly, I think this banner would only be necessary to pull for that Paladin class, but even then, it could be passable because there are other weapons that are better than that. And then Barbarian, I think we're getting a different Gotcha Ogre, but if you didn't get the other one, this could be a good alternative. And then the next banner that they skipped after this one was one recently. It's going to be this Little Mermaid Paladin banner. I think this one's a really hard skip for most people. The job, same stats, I think. Yeah, 700 M attack. Good for M attackers. This weapon though is a lot worse. Replenish magic 1 instead of Dauntless Courage. And then it has a better skill though, in my opinion. Decreases magic defense instead of magic attack, I think the other one was. It has alright stats for 17 cost, so there's that. But everything else on the banner is just a lot worse than that for paladins. Freeze Golem, don't roll on it for that. You probably have someone in the guild that already has that. This Staff of Skills is really solid. 1 to 2 target tier 3 skill, and then recovery support 2. Decent distribution on the defense. I think 900's above average for 17 costs defense, so I think that would be really good. And then this Violinist Skills is really solid. P defense and M defense on a guaranteed 2 targets, and support boon 2. That's a direct upgrade from what most people have, like Fiddle Delusion or Ancient Violin. This is going to be a lot better than that. And it has decent defense stats. Looking at this, for some reason it has more M defense than P defense and a lot more M attack for some reason, but other than that, skill distribution's fine. Decent overall stats for 17 costs, so I think this is going to be really important to pick up as a minstrel. And then this I would probably skip. Decent M attack. If you're still trying to fill out a grid for ranged weapons, this could be good filler because it increases own magic defense, and then M defense debuff, or increase own magic defense, sorry. This could be alright, but if you're buffing defense, that's not the most ideal stat or ideal skills in my opinion. So overall, I think this is going to be a hard skip for most people. and if anything, you're going to be pitying this staff or this instrument from getting medals from either different banner or from spec banners. I think that would be the best play for this. And then looking at the next banner that comes after this, we just skipped this banner, which is the Cinderella Minstrel. This banner is alright overall, but I still think it would probably be a skip for most people. It's going to be down here. The Cinderella Minstrel, most Minstrel classes are going to be 100 stats for each stat, and then 400 HP for the Arcana. So I don't recommend picking up Arcana for those jobs if you're rearguard. And then this weapon's okay. M attack for 1 to 2 allies. M attack is really meta right now, and it has a lot of M attack on the weapon. For 18 cost, I think this could be alright, but I don't think it's a reason to pull on this necessarily. It could be good, but then there's also Bird, Gotcha Bird, defense or attack down for all vanguards. Slight distribution towards M attack and M defense, so you could have this on more M attack spec, vanguard or rearguard. I think that'd be the best play, probably on a rearguard. But most guilds are starting to phase out debuffing nightmares, especially at this point, so I don't think that'd be necessary. If anything, just have one person in the guild stock it up and then use it in the meantime when you need it. This hammer's alright, decent distribution towards P attack at 18 cost, and it increases your own physical attack for the skill, but it has P attack support, which is, I guess, better than nothing, but Dauntless Courage is more favorable, so I don't think it's a reason to pull on it. And then this is probably going to be a big pass. M attack decent, M attack debuff. I don't think attack debuffs are very good on vanguards as well as defense buffs. I think the inverse is the best, where you have defense debuffs and then attack buffs. That's what I would favor. But looking at this could be something to keep in mind, but I don't think it's a reason to roll on it. This might be the best thing on the banner. It's defense down, or only physical defense down for guaranteed 2 enemies, and then support boon 2. My only problem is that it's P defense down, and we're in a very M attack meta, but it does have really high P defense. So I think this is something you would pity for from a different banner. I don't think there's a reason to pull on it unless you are like a very P attacker heavy guild. That would be my only consideration for it. So overall, skip unless you're a defense down Sork in a physical guild, in my opinion. And then the one banner we just got announced was this Gretel Cleric banner. This is probably a skip for most people. The class is the same with the Minstrel job. It's 100 stats for each, and then a 400 HP Arcana as well. This Nightmare is a very hard skip. Reduce SP cost of just fire skills. Like, no. Definitely not a reason to roll. This gun is alright. Decreases magical defense for the enemy and magic defense Colo skill, or Colo support skill, and decent M attack for level 80 at L for an 18 cost. This isn't the worst weapon you could have, and if you're still trying to fill out a half Nightmare Gunner grid, this I think could stay in your grid for a couple months. But the very best thing on this banner is obviously going to be this harp. It's going to be a direct upgrade from Reunion Whistle, which probably most people have in their grid right now. It has the defense buffs for both stats on one ally tier 3 and support boon 2. It has, I think, 1,000 stats higher than Reunion Whistle because it is 18 cost, and Reunion Whistle at that must be 16 cost. So if you have the cost, I think this could be a very good replacement, but in my opinion, it's going to be a skip banner, and then pity that harp if you're a minstrel pulling on the spec banners. And then I think this is going to be the next banner after, in the normal banner rotation, after the Gretel Cleric. This is going to be probably one of the best banners in the game for rearguards, especially for sorcerers. It's going to be here at the metal 12. It's going to have Kaguya Crusher, 700 P attack for Crushers, 100 P defense, very solid. The weapon decreases P attack, not ideal in my opinion, but has Balance Courage 1. And it has a pretty good distribution in the P attack on for an 18 cost. So I don't think it's going to be a reason to pull on it, because I think there are better banners for P attackers. But if you are considering it, it's not the worst thing in the world. The Minstrel class, same as the others, 100 stats in each, 400 HP Arcana. The weapon is alright. It's going to be a direct upgrade from like Warsong's Echo. This one has a tier 3 skill, buffs both attack stats by a great amount, and it has support boon 1, so pretty much identical to Warsong's Echo, except this is L version. And it has good distribution into both attack stats evenly. But the only problem is that I still think these are inferior to single target tier 4 skills for a single attack stat. I think those are much more valuable because most Vanguards are starting to specialize into one attack stat. So those will buff a lot more of their usable stats. So I honestly wouldn't recommend this to pull for this weapon. But looking over, I'm just going to skip the Nightmare for now. This is going to be the best weapon on this banner. It's going to be the magic equivalent of Book of Observations. It has magic attack and magic defense down 1 to 2 enemies for tier 3. That is really good for 2 stats. And then support boon 2. And Book of Observation has blade deployment, which I think buffs P attack for 1 target. This is a lot better than that. And since we are in an M attack meta, this is going to hurt a lot more guilds than Book of Observation, and is very spec'd into M attack and M defense, so it's going to be a lot more effective that way. So I think the main game plan is that if you're a minstrel or a sorcerer, you pull on this banner, and then you either get this just like as a byproduct as going for this, or you can pull on spec banners and then pity for this weapon. I think this is going to be a must for pretty much all rear guards, even clerics if you like flex on to Shinma days. I think that could be decent, because for minstrels you want to carry a few books, for Tome Shinma maybe, and then this would be one you would want to have. And then sorcerers, this is going to be a staple in your grid for a good couple months, and it even goes to double L, so it's kind of future proofed. But then there's also Odio, which could have really good implications in some guilds at higher tiers, but I'm still not too sure on how usable it is since I don't have too much experience in JP with this. It has really balanced stats, so you can put on pretty much anyone, but obviously you want probably your minstrels or sorcerers summoning for the most part. So if you are a minstrel or sorcerer, you should be playing on this anyways, and if you get that, that's even better. And then the last banner I'm going to go over today, somewhere here, it's going to be this one, the Alt Red Riding Hood. I think this is going to be the next banner we get, possibly this Thursday, I think the 30th. This, I'm thinking we get because in JP, they got this banner alongside their Alt Reality Arc release, and we're getting that on the 30th. So we'll see on the live stream, I think in 2 days, 28th, there's live streaming. So we'll see what they announce. But for this banner, it's really solid for Crushers in my opinion. The stats are alright all around. I don't think that's the reason you're pulling on this. The Crusher weapon, though, is insanely good. It deals physical damage 1 to 2 enemies, but it also has a certain ability here, 1.5 effect when at disadvantage. It's like a mini ogre effect on this weapon. But the best part about this is going to be the stats on it. The stat distribution is insane for an 18 cost weapon. Almost 2500 P attack at MLB, level 120. That has to be some of the highest in the game. And if you're a really spec'd P attacker, this is going to be almost a must pull for. And then there's also going to be, this is the other one I was talking about, Mount Archelon. It is the gacha version of Ogre and the counterpart to Barbarian down here. It has slightly lower stats at 5100, but it is spec'd into physical attack and physical defense. So if you do pull this while you're trying to pull for the other Crusher weapon, that would be pretty good to put in your grid. because it's going to be buffing your usable stats. And you probably want at least one person in your guild having a gacha version of Ogre. This weapon, I'm very skeptical if it's going to be on the banner. It is the RUS 7 metal weapon, so they've been really hesitant to put any RUS weapons on, so I don't think they're going to be putting this on. So for the most part, I'm going to skip it, but if it is on there, I would pity for it if I was a cleric. This sword, if there are breakers in the game, like if you still play breaker, this has a really good P attack stat, and it increases your own physical attack. So if you are pulling on it and you're crusher, but you need swords to fill out your grid, this could be a very good substitute for a terrible L weapon or an SR weapon. That would really help your stats, but it's not a reason to pull on it. So overall, pull on it if you're a crusher or P attack spec, or if you really need ogre. That would be my only reason to pull on this, but it is solid for crushers in my opinion. And that concludes it. I don't want to go over spec banners because I'd make the video way too long, but if I do go over it, it'd be in a different video. And usually the game plan for most people is that you look at the metal shops and then you look forward to those weapons, and then you'll pull on the spec banners hoping you get something from it, and then pity the weapon you've been looking towards on the other banners. But in my opinion, very quickly, pull if you're a paladin, skip pity the staff and the harp, skip possibly pull if you're a PDEF down sorcerer, skip pity the harp, and then pull if you're a minstrel sorcerer, and then probably skip if you're anyone else, and then only pull if you're a crusher probably, and then pity the staff if it's on it. And that will conclude this video. Hopefully I'll make these twice a month, once in the beginning, once in the middle, to update the monthly upcoming banners. And hope you enjoyed, and maybe stick around if you like these. Thank you.